I'm okay. So, for those of you who were on our sellers presentation seminar, I'm going to sort of go over that again, but I have a bit more content, and I think this will be a really good starting point for people who haven't heard the presentation, but a good refresher for those who were. So I just want to make sure that you guys can see what I'm seeing. Is it in the presentation mode at this point? Because it should be. Can someone just kind of confirm that?
It's not yet, no. Try
okay.
to.
It won't let me pick the thing on my menu, Craig. You are sharing. Stop sharing. I just want to, sorry guys. I have used other apps, but this one, oh, here we go. There we go. Woohoo. Okay, I think we got it now, right? Are we good?
That looks
okay.
Good.
Yay. Okay. Slow start, guys. Bear with me. So like I said, this is going to help everybody kind of get on the same page. And in future presentations, I'm going to zero in more on specific things, but this is going to be kind of an overview about what staging is and what I do. So as I go through the presentation, because it's such a visual product, I've got a lot of photos. And when the photos come up, I just kind of want you to think about how they make you feel, the before and afters, because it is such a visual. So I just need to get this thing shooting over to the next slide. Technical difficulties. I usually use my little arrow buttons. Is there a trick to go to the next slide for when I'm sharing?
You just have to click
you can
on
just use the keys.
Or use the keys.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying my arrows and my clicker. Oh, there we go. I don't know what I just did, but anyway, now it worked. Okay, so just a little bit about me. As Ishpreet said, I am a certified staging professional. Obviously, I'm in the Fraser Valley, and I provide my clients and the agents I work for with the highest standards of staging through the organization that I belong to. It also means I have a professional code of conduct, and I'm responsible for running an ethical staging business. I'm insured, so you can have peace of mind. And also, as Ishpreet said, I have a background in relationship sales and relationship management. So that's a little bit about me. And the first thing I want to talk about is what is staging? So staging is a powerful marketing tool. It helps prepare a home to be listed for sale. It sets the tone for how a buyer is going to feel when they walk into your home. Since 99% of buyers start their search online, staging helps create a lasting first impression with outstanding MLS photos. We cater to the potential buyer by creating an emotional connection that will generate more offers, a higher selling price, and shorter days on market. So I just want to check in and make sure that you're able to see the pictures as I'm scrolling through, because sometimes things are lagging. Is it working? Okay, good. Perfect. I mean, I've practiced all this, but I can't practice it from your perspective. So okay, thanks for the feedback. So the next thing I want to talk about are, just now that we know a little bit about what staging is, I want to talk about some common myths and misconceptions. Basically, people have an idea about what I do, and it's not always really accurate, but the first one is that staging is the same thing as decorating. I actually had a call from somebody about 2 weeks ago, and it was a referral from an agent, and they wanted me to help decorate their new home. Well, staging is not the same thing as decorating. So decorating is arranging your space around how you live. It's for your purpose and your comfort and how you want to use the space. So you can see in this photo in this master bedroom, they were also using it as kind of a little nursery. They liked the little rug on the wall. They have a dresser blocking the doorway. They've got a bunch of junk in there, but hey, that's how they needed to use the space. Whereas staging shows the space in order to sell it. It takes into consideration a buyer's purpose, how the space is meant to be used, and how they can potentially live in it. So that's one difference. Another difference is that, common misconception is that staging is decluttering. Well, staging decluttering is actually what you need to do first before you stage. And yes, this is an actual condo that I walked into, and the clients expected that I was walking in to stage their property. And I said, well, no, actually, you're going to have to declutter it first. How could I stage when it looks like that, right? And unfortunately, that's not uncommon. But when 90% of buyers can't see beyond the stuff in someone else's home, and think about it, when you walk into someone's house, all you see is their stuff. How would you imagine your own things in that property looking the way it did in that previous photo, right? So the first step is to declutter. And that's when buyers will start to be able to see beyond all of your things and be able to see the possibilities of living in that space. So the next one is that staging isn't really necessary. And I know that we've been in a really hot market, but oops, I want you to tell me how this picture makes you feel. Well, you don't have to tell me, you can just think about it. So do you think that staging is necessary or not? Well, I see, because I beg to differ, obviously, as a stager, but also because I know that as is just doesn't really cut it in today's market. People don't want to walk into a home and feel like someone else is living there. They want to imagine themselves in their home, right? They want to feel like the home they're buying is move-in ready. They don't really want to feel like they're buying a project. Okay, so you can see the differences that I'm showing you here. I like to compare staging to how you would go the extra mile to prepare your car if you were going to sell it on Marketplace, right? You would probably put in a little bit of time, a little bit of effort to detail it so that you would get a couple extra $100 when you sell it. Well, think about your home. It's your biggest asset. And there's a lot of equity, a lot more equity at stake. So when you think about your neighbor down the road who staged their home, that's going to be who your potential buyers are also comparing your home to. So the next thing I want to talk about is the difference between vacant and occupied staging. So vacant listings appear like, what do I want to say here? Vacant listings, they have no furniture placed in them. They show every flaw. As you can see in this room, you can see that the wall looks kind of yucky, the carpet looks kind of yucky, the light fixture, everything about it is not very appealing. It shows every flaw, and whereas staging, as you can see, we don't hide problems, but we accentuate the positives of a room. With a vacant listing of rooms actually appear smaller because there's no reference point. So they feel cold and there's no emotional connection. So you can see the difference between how the last picture makes you feel and how this one makes you feel. So you can see that staging addresses these issues with a vacant listing. Now we'll talk about occupied staging for just a minute. Occupied listings use some of the homeowner's own furniture. So this is an actual bedroom that we walked into to see and decide how are we going to stage this room. So we reimagine what the clients already have in their room. So this bed was already there, but it was in the wrong spot. So we reimagine what the clients already have, we rearrange it. Sometimes we have to remove things. And then we use items from our own inventory as well. And this is done, as you can see, in this beautiful master bedroom. And I liked it so much, I put in another photo of it because it was such a huge transformation. We didn't touch the bed, like that huge sleigh bed, but they really had no personality in that room. They had no bedding, no proper bedding. So, and art, etc. So this is done to create proper function and flow. And it shows off the space for potential buyers to see it in its best light. So I want you to sort of kind of think about how those photos made you feel, the befores and afters, and you can kind of see that there's a pretty big difference between your connection with the before photos versus the after photos. So the last thing I'm going to just talk about real quick here is how much does staging cost? Because a lot of people ask me, how much does staging cost? And, you know, I like to think about it like this. First of all, there's my little piggy bank. How much does a house cost? I mean, how can you nail it down? What we like to do is we come up with a customized quote for every property because it's specific to the needs of that individual and what that person needs, not what we did for somebody else. So another way to look at it is that an investment It's not so much a cost, it's an investment, and selling a house is going to cost less than your first price reduction. And if Michelle were here, and every agent that I've talked to, they would say an investment or a price reduction, and Kevin would know this as well, is not going to be less than probably at least $10,000 or more. Okay, so an investment in staging is definitely going to cost you less than that. So maybe another way to look at it, and this is what I tell my clients sometimes, is that can you afford not to stage, especially because we know the market has changed. So I just want to end with a big thank you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And maybe I will stop sharing. I'll stop sharing and send it back to our boss. I don't know. How did I do for time? I want to know how I did for time on that, because I practiced it and it was less than my 8 minutes. But you know how it is when you present, it's different, right?
You were really good, Corinne. I time every single one and you were pretty much right on the money. So
I thought I'd get the hook if I was going over. So